Welcome to 15K Plus Random Movie Reviews, where we randomly pick movies from Metacritic's all-time movie list of over 15,000 movies, covering everything from the best to the very worst, bringing you our genuine impressions and candid opinions, whether we like it or not. Hello and welcome to episode 50 of 15K Plus Random Movie Reviews. This is Colin.
And this is Niall.
And this is our recap episode of episodes 42 to 49. So let's just get right into it. Happy anniversary, 50 episodes.
Half century, baby.
It's older than us now, right? Just about.
Just about. Actually, one thing I did not jump into the first movie first. I'm going to talk one thing about the last movie because just as you say, 50. One of the guy's birthdays was 44. I think it was the Rob character in Air. And I remember thinking to myself, God, he's an old fecker at the start of the movie. And then realizing I'm 2 years older. And it depressed the living shit out of me.
Yeah, it's happening a lot more nowadays. Just seeing characters and going. I still look at Premier League football games and go, they're older than me. No, they're not.
No, they're not.
My brain hasn't changed since I was a teenager or a kid.
Arrested
so
Development.
Weird.
Just
Yeah. Way back in episode 41, we had the pleasure of getting Metroland from 1997. It was movie number 10,594 on Metacritic's list. It had a Metascore of 53, and it used a score of 8.2. So there's probably research papers out there trying to figure out why a user score is much higher than the Metascore. And the answer is
because it's garbage.
No, because you've got Batman fans, Christian Bale fans.
Of course. Yeah, listen, the word pleasure you used to describe the act of watching this movie is not my definition of it. What's it he says in The Princess Bride? You keep using that word, but I don't think you know what it means.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it is garbage. It is a very surprisingly terrible movie from Mr. Christian Bale, who I really appreciate as an excellent actor. He's garbage in this. He's terrible. But then the movie is shocking. It's
crap. You gave it 0.375 out of 5 average, and I gave it 0.8125. Jesus, what the hell did I give extra for it? I don't know. I think I gave 2 out of 5 for acting. I don't know why, but that's still below average. It's a terrible movie. It's basically a married guy who just regrets because an old friend of his comes in and he hasn't moved on. He's just still partying and hooking up with women, and he's married with 2 kids or 1 kid. I can't even remember at this point. 1 kid, I think it was. So he's been led astray by his friend, and I hated it. I hate marriage movies, and especially when it's set in bleak, depressing 70s England as well.
Yeah, and that is a big part of it. It is kind of depressing. Him spending so much time at the train, and then he actually likes trains, but he doesn't want to admit that to himself or his friend. Then he's married, genuinely isn't in a bad situation, but can't see it type thing. And he's looking at other women thinking, I like her. Yeah. And then he stares off into the distance for 5 minutes thinking about previous ladies. It's just
he daydreams constantly
with a stupid gurning face on him.
Gurning face. So we were talking before we went on air about what awards could we give, like random awards could we give each movie, and I think the
Gurn of the year.
Gurn of the year is one for him, but probably the funniest unfunny moment is him just staring off into space. Yeah. It's just like,
it's shocking.
What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Stupid.
Not intentionally funny, but daft, stupid. Yeah. If you don't laugh at it, you just turn the movie off. It's daft bad.
Yeah. It's 1 hour and 45 minutes, so I could get through it, but it was a struggle at times, just because it was predictable. Like he's a mopey git through the entire movie, and I'm mopey enough for myself. I don't need to watch another mopey twit.
Unless it's Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is awesome.
Oh yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah, I seen. Yeah, very sad.
What's his name? Richard Wright? Stephen Wright?
I can't remember.
Mr. Wright.
Mr. Wright.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is.
I saw it come up on BBC and I was like, oh, it's not Larry, is it? Thank God.
No, thankfully.
Anyway, did you see him in the last episode? It was like, I'm putting you in my will.
Oh God, I haven't seen the new season, so
yeah, he's it's good. So Metroland. Anything else? It's crap.
There's no redeeming qualities in this movie. The acting is subpar. The story is terrible. The production is woeful. The intro scene is one thing that's stuck in my mind. Is the intro scene is basically somebody holding a camera at the side of a car window, and that's it. Yeah. That's wonderful, and a little bit of metro, train line. Amazing.
Yeah,
hate a bad intro.
Yeah, it's what sucks you into a movie, and this didn't. It sort of vomited us into the movie.
Yeah.
And also, Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits should be ashamed of himself.
The soundtrack. Garbage. Oh, God. Yeah, I forgot about that. What was he thinking?
I don't know. Emily Watson's cute and stuff, but she doesn't save this movie.
Yeah, it's like, she's a decent actress. Like, I don't know, listen, you've got Christian Bale. If you had a decent script, you're going to nail it. Because from his first role as like a 12-year-old or something in Empire of the Sun, he's brilliant in that. This, you got nothing to work with.
Yeah, I'm guessing he was still finding his way, trying to get that big movie. Yeah. All right, moving on to episode 42, which was The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar from 2023. Ran for 37 minutes, which we were aghast and delighted with. Metascore of 85, user score of 7.4. Netflix release, and fast-paced, frenetic, crazy dialogue just coming straight at you, and you really needed good actors in this to pull it out. I gave it an average score of 3.25, and you gave it an average score of 3.6875. So we both enjoyed this movie quite a lot.
It's stuck with me as well. It's as you say, it's fast-paced, and the acting in it is bang on, but. And it's the pace at which it's delivered. The dialogue hits you in the face. But it's not just that. It's the almost theater-like presentation that Wes Anderson sticks into it. And the scenes changing in the background, and the theater hands coming on and moving things around and stuff. It's just a little bit quaint, I suppose, but it's just so nice. And it's so easy to watch. It's a cuddle, a big cuddle of a movie.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, no, it was good. Obviously, Wes Anderson makes these production choices, and more often than not, they hit the mark. And this one's cool. It comes across as a stage production of The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. And I read the book after I watched it. A short story, not a book. And Roald Dahl wrote it pretty much the way Anderson put it out on the screen. Short sentences. Blah, 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 blah. I did this, he did that. I did this, he did that. And that's the way it goes.
I'd like to say, before we jump off this, Ben Kingsley in this, fantastic. Absolutely love the minute.
Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch as well. It's very good as the titular character. I posted a clip on TikTok of him doing when he came up with his big idea, changing into the different characters.
Yeah,
and
very
a lot of people liked that. I think we got 2,000 views on that one. That was
it's an impressive piece of acting, isn't it? Like he's blasting through characters.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's top quality dude. Isn't he? Top quality. It was released along with The Swan, The Ratcatcher, and Poison, and I haven't watched any of them, so I didn't really.
Well, you have to wait till the number comes up.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, I don't watch anything else other than random.
TV's not allowed on
randomness
until you get a number.
This is a religion. If you want to join a religion, email me. It only costs $5,000
a year.
Yeah. So that's The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. That was episode 42. Episode 43 was The Blind Swordsman, Zatoichi, 3,059. It was on Metacritic's list. from 2003. Metascore is 75 and user score is 7.2. And yeah, so it was like obviously people scoring it averagely. I scored an average of 2.6875 out of 5, and you scored a 2.125 out of 5. When you look back on it now, you think that's a bit harsh.
No.
Do you look back with Zatoichi with fondness?
I'd look back with a fondness, but I'd never watch it again, and I wouldn't suggest anybody else watch it.
Harsh.
It's not the worst. It's not the best. Some of the visual effects really still annoy me to this day.
That's the next award. That's the worst
visuals.
Special effects award.
This is shocking.
Goes to Zatoichi.
It's almost like painted on violence, but it's not over the top. It's certainly not a practical effect at all, CGI nonsense. But it didn't need to be there. I don't understand the choice.
Yeah, like that digital, like at least it was ahead of its time, I think, because that whole fad of doing digital blood, the day that we reviewed in episode 35 from 2011, and that was doing digital blood. So I think it was the 2010s decade that digital blood became, we can do this now without the messiness of getting everybody's costumes bloody, and then we can just shoot the next scene, no problem. So I think, at least they were ahead of their time. His excuse was, I wanted everything to flower on the screen, but no, it doesn't flower. It just does.
Flops more than flowers, really.
It spurts, but it doesn't bloom.
If you're gonna do it, lean into it. I don't understand. Like, there was only like a of blood. You're doing it digitally. Go crazy, knock yourself out. Have gushing blood, rivers of blood. Go for it.
Yeah, it just wasn't Tarantino-esque enough.
And
Sorry
Tarantino
to be so
never
predictable.
used CGI for that stuff. He uses practical effects. When blood gushed, it was from a bag of blood that shot out using some sort of explosives.
Yeah, for sure. We have him as the standard, but I'm guessing there's a lot of Japanese movies who use practical blood as well.
In this movie's defense, the main actor I kind of liked. There was a certain charisma about him, but it wasn't enough.
Takashi.
Yeah, Takashi's Castle, the fella. He was pretty good, but that's it. That's all there was to the movie. One decent actor, and maybe the two geishas were interesting, but that's kind of a small part of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think there was enough characters in it to make it, engaging enough. Like you have the gambling dude, so it was aunt whatever nephew. You had but then you had the crazy sumo guy who ran around screaming, who you thought was going to play a part in the final battle or whatever,
but doesn't, thankfully.
Is that what you call a MacGuffin?
MacGuffin's actually used to progress the plot. He's not used.
What's the opposite of MacGuffin?
Unguffin?
Red herring. No, he's a red herring.
Sorry, yeah. He is a red herring. Perfectly described. And I like a good red herring in a movie. I like a good MacGuffin, but it has to be a good MacGuffin, like a suitcase, like in Pulp Fiction.
Drives the plot.
The plot. Doesn't have to be there. Doesn't really add anything to it, but it pushes it along.
Gently,
subtly,
with a golden hue. Anything else about Zatoichi?
It was better than Metroland.
Yes, it was, and our scores reflect that as well. We shuffled on to episode 44. We got a lovely high number. It was 31 on the best movie list of all time. Came out that it was Some Like It Hot from 1959, runs for 2 hours and 1 minute. Metascore of 98 and a user score of 8.3. So I was kind of excited because I don't go out of my way to watch Marilyn Monroe movies. I don't think I'd ever seen this one from my time, and I gave it an average of 3.0625, and you gave it an average of 3 on the dot because you're just like that.
Very precise.
So obviously above average.
Yeah, it's a good
bordering on good. Yeah, it was ahead of its time. It's blokes dressed as women for the majority of the movie. There's a lot of sort of, I don't know, on the cuff or on the borderline of, maybe a little offensive back in the day. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, there was some risque shots. There was a cleavage
Risque.
left, right, and center. There was legs high. Yeah, it did seem a bit steamy at points.
She's obviously hired for a reason back then. She didn't have a lot of movies after this until her early demise too. So it's kind of poignant in a way that
It
she's
is.
drinking. She's a bit of a drinker in this movie, and she obviously was a bit of a drinker and drug user in real life too. So it's a little bit poignant looking back from 2024 onto her, movies of 1959. It's sort of sad in a way, actually.
It is a bit. I think to talk about the other two lads, I thought Jack Lemmon and damn, what's the other guy's name now? God, it's just gone out of my head.
Richard Curtis.
Richard Curtis. Oh my God, yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
No, is it? Yeah, sure. Let's say Richard Curtis.
Yeah.
Those two guys, I thought they were very good.
Yeah, they're good.
Jack Lemmon was a very believable
It is
lady.
Richard Curtis. Yeah, Jack Lemmon, if you read into it, he took the training. No, he didn't take the training because he wanted it to be.
He wanted to look like a man pretending to be a woman, and he did a really good job of it. Curtis looks like a lady, walks like a lady.
Dude looks like a lady. If that was made in the 80s or 90s, that theme tune would be at the start of the movie.
Used. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Enjoyable. Plot line drove the entire movie, basically. Obviously, it was, running away from the mob. It's quite a trope these days, like Nuns on the Run or whatever. And I thought it was decent and entertaining.
Yeah, for its time, I think it was quite adventurous. The plot itself would have been reasonably unique at the time. It was a good movie. Well, to watch now, it would have been much better, I suppose, back in the day, back in 1959.
Yeah, I think some religious dudes were not happy with it, but hey, no religious person's happy with stuff that sort of blends the norm. Yeah, risque.
Especially with how it ends, the last line.
They're
sailing away into the night. Jack Lemmon, who's been going on dates with a man just to get them out of trouble. I says, by the way, I'm a man, and the guy's like, nobody's perfect.
The end.
The end. Great line, great finish, fantastic. That's one of the things that really stood out in the movie. It's like, yes, what a way to end the movie. Well done.
Yeah, so that's what it alludes to as well as sort of risque, as you say. It's sort of, okay. It's fine. He's happy being in a relationship with a man.
Yeah, and I'm surprised, like, from 1959's America, like, now people would complain about it. But never mind 1959. Yeah.
Like, it's a wonder it hasn't been sort of whitewashed and edited and stuff like that, but maybe in certain areas of the world.
You dub over the last line and going, I hate you.
That's outrageous. Get off this boat.
Yeah. Anyway.
So we from now on for the next 4 episodes, we dipped into the Oscar pictures list. So we figured it would be a good break for us to pick randomly from all the history of Best Picture Oscar winners. And so we got 49, which was The Godfather Part 2. So we kind of said, that doesn't make any sense if we haven't watched The Godfather 1 either ever or haven't watched it in 30 years. So we went to number 51 in the movie list, The Godfather from 73, made a score of 100, used a score of 93. So obviously a movie that's always up there at the top for people's favorites of all time. Very good movie, obviously.
A great movie. Like Marlon Brando, he's not a small bit part actor. He doesn't do ads for cornflakes. He's a heavy hitter.
Yeah, he's really good in this movie, and I kind of admired him more looking at it through a lens of really critiquing the movie as well. I gave The Godfather 4.3125 out of 5, and you gave it 4.1875. So we were very happy with The Godfather as a movie to watch. what can you say about The Godfather that hasn't been said already? What's your favorite scene in The Godfather?
There's a couple of scenes spring to mind. I love the scene where he dies, actually, where Don Corleone, 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 when Corleone dies.
Can I have 2 Corleones, please? No flakes.
Great trilogy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I really, where he's playing with his nephew, or not his nephew. God damn, I've messed my head up. Where he's playing with his godson, grandson.
Oh yeah, shit. Oh fucking hell.
We'll get there. This is a tough one. He's playing away with his grandson. He's chopping up an orange slice and he's putting teeth, and he makes the kid cry, and he's like, oh no, and he then gets the kid to chase him, and he then keels over. And I just think there's something very normal, yeah, it's such a lovely scene as well. There's just genuine joy between the kid and Marlon Brando, so I think that's actually real. So it's so well done. I love that scene. How about yourself? What jumps out at you?
Weirdly enough, as an animal lover, it's the horse head scene.
Horse head, really?
Yeah, because it's so, and it's the one scene that I knew I'd seen before. I obviously don't like seeing dead animals, but it's just the barbarism of it, and the unexpectedness of it, and just the sheer brutality of it, and the message it sends, and the shock and the yelling and the anguish the guy, because one scene earlier, he's showing off this horse to the lawyer dude.
This is worth hundreds of thousands, $600,000 horse. Yeah, so it's quite iconic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm sure it's up there with scene. Like, I'm sure Empire magazine or somebody is going, top 100 scenes of all time. I'm guessing it's up in there somewhere. I just imagine the lawyer's conversation with Don Corleone on the phone. Yeah, listen, he's not going to accept the offer. He's got a lovely horse, though.
Lovely horse, you say? Interesting.
All right, chop his head off and put it in his bed when he's sleeping. All right, see you later.
Bye.
And the lawyers in the stable, fucking hacking away at the horse's head for 2 hours.
Yeah, that can't be easy.
No, it can't actually. And like, what do? You shoot it with a silencer first, and then hack away at its head, and then tiptoe into the house, dripping horse blood as you go.
Yeah,
and sneakily just putting it into the bottom of his feet, near his feet. It's like, all right, shut the fuck up. He probably has a hired dude.
Don't mind me. I'm just putting it.
Yeah.
Remove your horse's head on your head.
I'm the horse head. I'm the horse head fairy.
You lost a tooth, so here we give you.
He must have. I think he probably hired some goons to.
Well, yeah, that's how you get everything done.
Yeah. I also like the restaurant scene when.
Where he picks the gun from behind the cistern in the toilet. That is a great scene. Yeah. The tension that builds up in that scene is just divine.
And the fact that he didn't do exactly what he was told to do, come out of the bathroom and shoot them. He came out and sat down, and I was going, what the hell are you doing? But he had control. He knew the sound of the train.
I love the arc of his character.
That's the main storyline, isn't it?
It really is. It's just it shows him as he's on the outside. He's not really part of the whole thing, but he comes across as cold, calculating, and incredibly intelligent. As you said, always in control of what's going on around him. It's fantastic.
Yeah. I think a lot of people would pretty much say like the entire movie is his arc. It drives the movie. And where he goes, we go. And
I was quite surprised by that fact, actually. I thought it would have been more about the Don, the original Don. But not quite.
Because you look at movies like Scarface, and it's his name in the title,
yeah.
It's not like this is the Godfather. This is Don Corleone is obviously this magnetic character in the movie. Does he drive? He drives things. He's obviously a man of power in the wedding scene. Everybody bows down to him. But as the movie goes on, he weakens a little bit, both physically because he gets shot in the body 20 times or whatever.
Yeah, that'll do.
Then, so this is when Al Pacino comes up. I think they intersect their character arcs.
Yeah, as he's going down, his just
Yeah,
shoots up.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then at the end of the scene, end of the movie, we see the door closing and Don Corleone.
The Don is dead. Long live the Don.
Exactly, and his wife is like shut out from the room, and that's the way it's going to be. And if she just ignores everything, just like Don's wife did, then you'll be fine. You'll have a lovely life. Just don't ask
Don't ask any
about.
questions.
Yeah,
Did you kill that guy? You get one question. Did you kill him? No.
no. Gotcha.
Yeah, great movie. Fantastic movie.
Yeah, it was good to get it, and we probably wouldn't have got it if we didn't do the Oscar run that we very genius like did. So episode 46 we got was a current Oscar winner, 2021's CODA. It was number 2 on the list because it came out 2 winners ago. Metascore of 72 on Metacritic and user score of 7.6. And I guess both of us would probably say this was a surprisingly lovely movie to watch.
Yeah, like I'm not big on touchy-feely movies, and this is a touchy-feely movie, but it's quite realistic as well. Like the characters and the relationships that are developed throughout the movie are real. You know, they feel almost familiar, and that's an amazing thing to do in a movie.
Yeah. And I think it also, just with the added device of sign language as well, that makes it a little bit more unique as well.
Now, speaking of scenes, there's one particular scene where Dad becomes, well, there's two I can think of, but mainly it's the concert she does in school.
Yeah.
Where you can hear her singing. She's got a great voice. The rest of the lads are singing. It's beautiful. And then slowly, somebody turns down the volume to 0. And then you
in production, not in the concert.
Sorry. But you then experience it as the parents do in the audience, and that's a great move. I love that. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, it was great. That was really good. Also, like that entire concert scene has a couple of things that stand out because you then are put into their shoes even before they turn down the volume to make us not hear anything, and to look at people performing on a stage in entire silence. It's unnerving a little bit, but before that they're sort of going through the motions and getting bored very quickly of what's for dinner, what are we doing for dinner, signing that. And first of all you're going, hey, just look up to your daughter and at least look at her and see the emotions in her face as she sings. But I'm not deaf, so obviously I don't know.
Yeah, I guess you sat there for a couple of hours, you might get bored with no real input other than some people standing on the stage.
I get bored. Yeah, I get bored listening to people talking where, I get bored as a hearing person.
Yeah.
So I can imagine how people with no hearing can feel like. We gave them pretty high scores, so I gave it 3.8125 out of 5 average, and you gave it 3.875 out of 5. I think it was just, I don't know, the story was nice. It had a nice arc. The lead character, she was cool. Amelia Jones, she was good at the daughter.
The dad was fantastic.
Yeah, he got an Oscar for it, Troy Kotzen. He actually was in an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm there at the start of this last season, of this season, episode 12 or season 12. So he's getting around. Yeah, he got an Oscar, and yeah, everybody's great in the movie, acting wise. I thought the character of the mum had a bit of a very quick resolution to her arc. That was a bit jarring for me. If there's any weakness for me, it was she's terrible to her and doesn't see her as anything other than an interpreter for the family. And then suddenly the dad gets it, and then she suddenly gets it. Goes, let's go, we're going to your college for the audition.
Yeah, but I think you need some form of conflict between characters in the movie, and that's what the mum was used for. Because there wasn't any real conflict between, like, the main character is the daughter in this, and the dad's kind of the secondary character. There was no real conflict in my mind anyway between the two main characters, so you needed something. Yeah, maybe the bro was used for conflict as well, but more understandably.
Yeah, there was a bit of conflict there. Yeah, but that's fine. You can have conflict, but you have to also sort of smooth that arc as well.
I agree. There was a juddering end to the mum's arc. I give you that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's a little like, I kind of, when I think about it now, I kind of equate this movie's vibes to Little Miss Sunshine a little bit, if you've
Yeah,
ever
I get
watched that
that.
movie.
I get that. Where the family rowing behind the young girl at the end.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of more character development and character relationship building in Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, that is
Not that it's
amazing.
bad here. Not that it's bad here. I just think that it could have been a lot better. But that's just a minor gripe. I've enjoyed this movie a lot.
Well, considering how heavily high we rate this movie,
Yeah.
we're talking about minor things at this point when we complain about stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, so our favorite scenes is the concert one. Anything else memorable from it?
I guess when she's singing at the end, when she's trying out for Berkeley.
Oh yeah,
and she starts signing because she's
that's good.
Yeah, and it's another powerful scene. She's almost dedicating it to her parents who are up in the audience listening.
Yeah,
very good, very good.
Yeah, it could have been corny, but it wasn't.
Not at all. It's very good. Yeah,
and that's a nice nod to the director there. All right, moving on to episode 47, which was Wings from 1927. This was movie number 95 on the list because it was the first ever movie to get a Best Picture winner. Metascore of 78, user score of TBD, and you watched this movie entire silence.
It was. I decided after watching CODA to experience the movie like the parents did in the last movie. No, I was an idiot. I picked up the wrong version of it without. No, not that this sound would have added all that much to it because there ain't no talkie in it.
No, but there's sound effects,
piano, and pew 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 pew.
Yeah, there's airplane noises and there's bomb noises and there's things that actually try to make you sort of stay sane throughout the movie.
But what I don't understand, if you can have bomb noises and airplane noises and have it recorded, why can't you record the actors and actresses' voices?
Yeah, there must have been a reason. I don't know.
Maybe because it was the last of the non-talkies that they decided to slap in some sound and see if that could help them compete with the actual voice acting of modern movies of the time.
Yeah, it's fascinating to watch a movie from that era because it was right around the time when talkies started appearing. I think Al Jolson's movie. Jesus, what's wrong with me? I can't even remember the name of that. The movie that he was in, the Jazz Singer. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
I watched it on, thanks for the help. I watched it on YouTube and it's a silent movie in between, and then he sings live and then he actually ad-libs in between each song. It's actually quite jarring to watch actually because you basically see the transition from silent movie to talkie in one movie. It's very interesting to watch. And
I have not seen that movie.
If you skip over the whole blackface thing, that's
yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, Wings. As our listener Rob was telling me today by WhatsApp, the Wings plot reminded him of the Pearl Harbor plot from that 1990s movie or whatever the hell that Pearl Harbor one. This crap movie.
I've only watched half of that movie, and I can tell you that this movie is better. Without any sound, it was way better.
Yeah, and this is 2 hours and 24 minutes. This was a struggle.
That was Ben Affleck as well, wasn't it?
I think Ben Affleck was in Pearl Harbor. I can't get rid of Ben Affleck.
He's following you.
He is, with his face of stone and glass. Kind of like the voice of Sticks and Glue from CODA.
Very good.
Yeah. This was great technically. Holy crap! They put cameras on airplanes and filmed the actors actually flying the airplanes where they actually flew for real. The airplanes.
And these are not exactly the most advanced of planes. Like they're biplanes, and some of the aerial maneuvers these guys are pulling off, very impressive for a couple of actors. It's ridiculously good, actually.
Yeah, it's great, and like it's shocking how good it looks in sepia toned silent movie. It's pure genius the way he went around shooting it. William A. Wellman, the director, had this vision, and they went all the way, and they put cameras where no cameras had been before, and the results are stupendous for the time that it's shot in. Like you watch the latest Top Gun one, and there's a camera on the front of Tom Cruise's jet. It's like, yeah, that looks great, taking off from a air or a ship, whatever you call it.
Yes,
aircraft carrier. Yeah,
GoPros everywhere now, so it's not impressive.
Yeah, it's not impressive anymore. But then you're thinking, yeah, these box cameras were on the nose of these biplanes, so it was great, and I'm happy to have watched it. I found it, well, yeah. So I gave it 2.75 out of 5, which is sort of above average, and you gave it 2.875 for a non-talkie. That's interesting.
It's I thought it was reasonably good. I give it a lot of credit for the time it was released.
You kind of have to. Yeah,
you did have to.
Yeah. Yeah, if you wanted to, if it
was released now, I wouldn't give it a lot.
Well, that's why I like watching The Quiet Place. So what's that horror movie that's yeah, it's The Quiet Place, right? Where
I haven't seen it, actually. I don't like horror movies, so I generally avoid.
Well, you're used to now watching a movie in silence from watching this one, so you could watch The Quiet Place.
Huh.
Which is intentionally quiet, not...
Or the aliens will eat your face.
Something like that, yeah. All right, episode 48 was Lawrence of Arabia, number 61 on the list, 1962. 3 hours and 38 minutes. Oof, boy.
Jesus. So much sand. So many camels.
Camels. Tossing and turning in bed. Camels.
Still have nightmares.
Yeah. Metascore of 100, of course, and user score of 8.6. It was good to watch it. It took up it took away my entire Sunday evening, which is usually sacred in House Colin, but I had to do it for the sake of the podcast. Let's hope we get paid off handsomely in the future for making these sacrifices.
That's the sacrifice you make to become the millionaire that you will be after a few more people, subscribe to us.
Yeah, Spotify. Let's do it. Yeah, you spread it over 2 nights, which probably would make more sense.
It was good and bad to do it that way.
Yeah, I guess.
Breaking a movie up, I genuinely dislike stopping a movie and then watching it later. Because a movie is meant to be experienced in one sitting, effectively. Now, this does have an intermission in it, but intermissions generally don't last 24 hours.
That would be weird if it did in the cinema. Yeah. Intermission, see you in 24 hours.
Value for money right there.
Yeah. Listen, it was good to see it. If I ignore the time sink it was for me, Peter O'Toole is crazy good, playing a sort of layered character like T.E. Lawrence. The production is great for the time that it was. We're used to seeing vistas now from people's GoPros on a bloody mountain bike from the Himalayas or whatever. Back then in the 60s, these sweeping panoramas that last for a couple of minutes for us, would it be like everybody would be on the edge of the seats for that? But for us now, spoiled 2024 people, we're like going, yeah, it's lovely. All right, move on.
If a vista lasts more than a TikTok movie, we're leaving the cinema.
That's right. Yeah. So you have to acknowledge your own brain and how it works these days to figure out
We're all broken.
We are broken people.
That's broken.
No, exactly. No, that's it's a I think as the days go on, I appreciate it more. It's a work of art. It's taken its place in the annals of cinema history, and and
Peter O'Toole does a masterclass here in acting. He's fantastic. You've got other big players like Alec Guinness. Like he's good in it too. He's not really overutilized, I suppose. He's only in it for a few minutes. And Omar Sharif, Very good in it, I thought.
Very good indeed. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of heavy hitters in it.
Yeah.
And the director obviously went on to do Bridge Over the River Kwai and Dr. Zhivago and Ryan's Daughter, as we said, and the writer went on to do Planet of the Apes. So a lot of pedigree there, won a lot of Oscars. And yeah, what scene stands out for you in it?
I guess there's a couple where he's shooting his friend at the start. His friend, I can't remember the guy's name now, but he saves his friend. He goes back over the sun's anvil and drags him out on his camel. It's not easy. Everybody's surprised that he actually survived it. And then a couple of scenes later, what did you say his name was?
Gassim.
Yeah. Whacks somebody from a different tribe, causes a bit of kerfuffle,
Silly
and he
boy,
has to put him to death. He does not
shoot
enjoy
him
it.
in the face.
Yeah, he doesn't enjoy it, and then he does enjoy it, and I love that scene because of that. I love the change in emotion in his face. Like the first bullet he puts into him, it's pain. Second, by the sixth is a kind of a turning up the side of his mouth where he's kind of smiling. And it's just so subtly done, but, manic is the word I can think of by the end of that scene. He's going a bit nuts. It's great. Fantastic.
Nuts. Yeah. I liked when he came back to the Cairo with his servant boy and just that reactions he got from the hoity-toity officers in the pub.
We'll have no trouble here.
Yeah, exactly. And so then the talk with the new Colonel Allenby and just sort of giving him the rundown and saying, "Well, let's go back out there and continue it on." Blah blah blah. So I thought that was quite a good part of the movie.
Yeah, I enjoyed Allenby's manipulation of T.E. Lawrence. It's beautifully done.
Yeah. So I gave an average of this at 4.25, and I think you were a little bit salty with the time. You gave it 3.75. Still a good score.
Oh, it's a great score. Like, it's a great movie. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was being a bit harsh. Maybe I should have given it a little bit of leeway considering the times it was produced in. But I just thought basically 4 hours of my life. That's something I enjoyed, but it was still 4 hours. It was a bit much.
Yeah, and hey, we tell it the truth here. You don't get any polished movie snob opinions here. If we think it's too long, we're gonna bloody say it. We're not gonna go, "That's great, it's amazing, go watch it." It's a good movie. It's a good movie. You need to watch it.
Yeah.
But hey, if you've got no time in the evening to watch this for 4 hours, then wait till watch it until you're on holiday or something. So
absolutely, or break it up, make it into like a mini series for yourself. There are natural breaks in this movie, so you can do that.
I'm sure somebody on YouTube has said, "Here's how you break down Lawrence of Arabia into 10 binge-worthy episodes."
Yeah,
I'm sure that's happened. Yeah, actually, it's a good idea. Well done. I'm sure maybe Netflix in the near future will make a Lawrence of Arabia series, like a limited series.
They'll do CGI Peter O'Toole.
Didn't they do a CGI Christopher Reed for Gladiator, or was it Troy or something? Or Gladiator? It's Gladiator, right?
Yeah, and the last few
he died during it.
Which is not really that surprising considering the amount of alcohol he pumped into his liver.
Yeah, sort of Peter O'Toole. They're all the same back then.
Yeah,
characters,
drunkards.
Yeah, Irish lads.
That's it.
Yeah, our last movie of the 40 decades was episode 49, Air, from 2023. We ventured back into Metacritic's 15K plus movies. This was movie 3705, which you're roughly going to get around the 70 Metascore. So this was 73 Metascore, user score of 77.2. I gave it an average of 2.5. You gave it an average of 2.625. So average movie, nothing too crazy good about it. Sort of a middle of the road, sort of, if this was a EKG, it would be sort of a normal heart rhythm, nothing too exciting. resting heart rhythm and nothing crazy, nothing. But it's yeah, it was fine for. I think I was happy just to do a sub 2 hour movie and go okay, so right, okay.
So sometimes it's good to watch a movie that isn't that great. I don't know if that
Well,
makes sense, but it does to me. There
we
are a
haven't
few
had a
things. Sorry.
yeah, just sorry, we haven't had a crap movie since Metroland. So like
Yeah,
you know,
we've been
this
very
isn't
lucky.
yeah, this isn't a crap movie. So, but we'll see what we get at the next episode.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that hold this movie back, in my opinion. The nostalgia being crammed up your jacksie. It goes too hard. It's slapping Ghostbusters in your face for no reason. Here, have a Game Boy. No, you don't need to.
No,
I want
leave me
subtle
alone.
introduction of
Yeah.
nostalgia, please. Thank you very much. I enjoy nostalgia. Don't get me wrong, especially 80s nostalgia. But this does it, and then the soundtrack again is more slap across the face with nostalgia for no particular reason and no pairing of scene to song.
Yeah. And I think another main thing that might not make you enjoy this and bump it up to like 4 out of 5 would be like a disconnect if you're not a sneakerhead or if you don't know the history of basketball. You obviously everybody knows Michael Jordan, but you know there'll be people in their teens and 20s in Ireland now that don't know who Michael Jordan is just due to not being basketball players, and he's not in the public eye anymore. So
True that.
yeah,
But
so
that said, like there are redeeming qualities to this movie. There's some good
yes,
acting. Bateman is
yes,
very good.
yes,
Viola Davis, fantastic.
yes.
Mr. Tucker,
Yeah,
a
he's
very
good.
unusual line to say, but I enjoyed his acting in this.
I think he's actually the best. I like Viola Davis is obviously a great actor, but I think Chris Tucker comes out here on top. Matt Damon plays a very likable, affable, sunny. Not a
It feels like
bad
a
thing.
character he's done before, to be honest.
True.
It's not that he's phoning it in, but it just feels like it's a natural state of being for him. So he just does himself effectively.
I think so. Yeah, I think he did a favor for Affleck probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't get over the whole just cramming of. All right, let's do a PowerPoint slideshow of 80s crap and put it in the middle of the movie. It just came out of nowhere. It was very jarring and annoying. But
Yeah, it drops this movie by a 0.5% for me, at least.
yeah, production we both gave 2.5 out of 5, so I would have given it 3 if I don't know, maybe if there was more he came at it. I'm not a movie director, just to a side note here, but he came at it he came at the whole sneaker focus with not showing anything about the process. You know what? It's an hour and 51 minutes. Give me 9 minutes of the design process, a bit of sort of you could montage the making of the sneaker so that it fully forms in that blue hue that they showed. Show some interaction between the characters during the process. Show them eating 80s fucking snacks through the process and playing on their Game Boy. A little bit more of the design process. I know it wasn't about that, but hey, the shoe is just a shoe until somebody steps into it.
Make some poor decisions directorially.
Yeah, exactly. Ben Affleck.
All the things wrong with this movie. Okay, just say it. All the things wrong with this movie equal Ben Affleck.
Ben
right?
Affleck. Well, we started off episode 3, I think, was changing lanes for us. So we started off our podcasting episode with stupid Ben Affleck in a stupid car crash who he just pulls all these faces and it's terribly shot. And I've not liked him ever since. And I never really liked him anyway as an actor.
Listen, I'm not as jaded against Mr. Affleck. I think he's got some qualities in the movie world in that he's able to direct a decent movie such as Argo. I think maybe this movie was a bit of a paycheck for him, as maybe it was for Matt Damon. I don't think that they tried as hard as they could have.
Yeah,
can try harder.
Listen, if you've got an hour and 51 minutes, it's not the worst movie ever.
No, it's not bad at all, actually.
There's 15K plus other movies out there for you to watch as well.
Yep.
Having said that, and with that said, that's the last movie in our last 8 or 9 movies. And we'll now roll for episode 51. How about we do that?
Sounds good.
All right, let's see what we're going to get. We got 5,638. And random movie 5,638 is Lethal Weapon.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
You know what? We've been very lucky recently. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Lethal
And a
Weapon.
real 80s song movie, not with fake 80s montage. This is going to be real nostalgia.
I have to say, though, as these movies get on and the longer they get, I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yeah. All right, just a quick summary. Riggs is a volatile, unregistered risk taker known as a lethal weapon by his law enforcement colleagues. Murtaugh is the conservative detective with a solid reputation. Forced to form an uneasy alliance, they begin to unravel the mystery of an apparent suicide that turns out to be murder and more. Metascore of 68 only, but a user score of 8.1, which mirrors people's love of this movie.
Mirrors my feelings towards it as well. Like,
Yeah.
I may have seen this more than once. As an
I
80s
believe
child, or well, a 70s child, really. It's a movie, I've seen many, many times. Enjoyed many, many times.
And when you do get into your 30s and 40s, you do end up saying, I'm getting too old for this shit. Quite a lot.
I really identify with Murtaugh now. I really do.
It's 1 hour and 49 minutes long. It's from 1987, and I'm looking forward to stepping back into the 80s with a nice classic action movie. Excellent.
You can't see it now, but I am beaming. This is, Happy
This is
days.
great. Yeah, this is great.
It's 5,638. Nuts.
Yeah, it's well, as we know, Metacritic is based on the critics' reviews and not the user score, but not the user reviews. So as you can see, 8.1 user score is more sort of mirroring our general vibe of Lethal Weapon. Great. So that's a movie that we're both excited to actually watch in the next episode. So that was episode 50. Please leave a rating on Spotify or anywhere you listen to this movie. There's quite a few listeners on Spotify now with only 5 ratings. If you can just drop a little 5-star review on your Spotify app, that would be great. Much appreciated. We will see you in episode 51 for Lethal Weapon. Bye-bye.
Cheerio.